Oh my god, absolutely I want to watch this through. What if I could right my wrongs and save you from the pain? Yeah. Okay, well, we can stop there and just talk about that, because I've got a different impression of it after, like, a month. Sorry about the month, by the way. It's all Amelia. It's Amelia, like, talking about herself. It's like, "Maybe I could save you from the pain." It's all toward herself, and it reframes everything. I didn't realize how much it reframes everything, like, our story and our OPs, the story told in our OPs, because we don't get them that often, has always been Subaru running, right? Like, it's always been Subaru chasing after Amelia and saving her, but this one's the opposite. It's the opposite. It's Amelia awakening to herself, seeing and recognizing all of her pain and struggle, and then uh 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 I made a promise to you and your hope. It's like that's usually our Subaru angle. Is like Subaru's the one making promises, but now it feels to me like it's Amelia being charged with like a responsibility to Subaru's hope, right? Like she sees his hope for her and now has made it feels so good. I'm like gonna cry. I don't know why that's happening. I'm overwhelmed a little bit. What's going on with me? It's early in the morning and it's been a while since I've recorded, so I've got like lots of thoughts and ideas. I've been I'm starting this like in media res because I wanted to watch through the previous episodes and catch up. But I turned on the camera while doing that kind of on a whim, thinking that maybe there would be things to capture there. And here we are. I think I have to capture this and I'm gonna have to put it in the video. Um, I've been I'm not at home. I'm in what might be the sanctuary in terms of metaphor. It's how it frames out in my mind. This is my partner's place. This is Seraph's place. I'm over here for another weekend. It's the holidays. Um, and this is uh in my mind it's like the sanctuary. There's a lot of danger and a lot of scary stuff here. And relationships and old things that have been dredged up by me being here and by us being here and just by being here and with family and stuff and um it's like reawakening a bunch of old pains that we have to overcome piecemeal. And it reminds me in some strange ways of coming to see and accept your past as we see here, uh, and learn like who you are so that you can move forward from there. It feels right and and powerful and well, I've been lost and tangled for a little while, sort of tumbling in my own loops, been going back and forth from home for me to home here and taking the train back and forth and existing on these two fronts and I've I've done some Subaru-y things, like I've bitten off some pieces that were bigger than I could chew, and I did some too much, and I did some failure and some malaise and some misery as well. And now I think I'm back to wandering and seeking and like and recognizing the value in that. I've spent some time listening to and reading and exploring some philosophy in search of myself or in search of reason or in search of purpose. Who am I? Who do I want to be is sort of this pivotal moment for me in these last couple of months. Trying to figure that out in the wake of these shows that have demonstrated ways of being that I find really powerful, but also really scary. And then in this tumultuous period in the world where it feels like everything is up in the air, I've stepped back and away instead of stepping forward and in. And that really scares me and it fills me with regret and sadness. I feel like I've missed something that was important and I don't know what it was and I'll never know. But we can't live in regret like that. We can only move forward and seek our answers in the futures that present themselves to us. And I'm not interested in giving up. It's, what is it? It's easy to do, but it's not for me. Yeah, something like that. A promise to you and your hope. And then chasing the silhouette that emerges, and all of this Betty imagery through all of it, like he's stepping into the eye of Betty there, because we're going to realize that there's so much story there. That's part of why I need to jump into this episode and go through it and remember. This bitch fucking crazy. We don't end up really understanding her motivations or why she's doing this, but what a terrifying villain. She seems to have a causal power that seems on the level of whatever Subaru is dealing with. And then the complete lack of any sort of empathy. Yeah, spooky. You are the witch's daughter, but what does that mean? Me, I'm the key. And she realizes that it's there. Which hope? The hope that you will keep your promise, get us to leave and overcome this hardship, or the hope that you will resolve it all harmoniously by breaking your promise and opening the seal? Which hope do you choose? And she chooses her promise. And so she acts like fate, like it doesn't matter to me. I'm just the one who makes things manifest. How separate from being a decider. There's this idea that I've been thinking about and coming to, and it's not my idea by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's maybe an idea that a lot of people have to come to, and it's one that I've cycled through before. The decider. It struck me out of the blue at one point because I was wondering who I am the other night. Who am I? Was thinking about Friedrich Nietzsche, who perhaps envisioned himself as the wanderer, striding through landscapes and philosophies, through ideas, taking them on and trying them out, but not growing too attached to one that he can't sever his connections to it and wander further. Able to try out new things, and there's something about that that's deeply compelling to me as someone who wanders through different worlds, and I've found myself trying on these different faces, perhaps. But at root, that wasn't the conclusion that he came to either. The conclusion that he came to was that we must each become deciders. And perhaps the wandering will lead to deciding. That seems to be right to me, because it's foolish to make decisions without knowing what you're deciding about. And our art strikes me as the means of finding out stories that will help guide decisions. But the purpose for it in the end is to be the decider. If God is dead, if morals are not absolute, if they are truly relative, if we are the arbiters and creators of meaning, if things don't have intrinsic transcendent meaning on their own, if that is something that is only decided by us, by thinking, by nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so, then we are the thinkers. We are the deciders. And we arbitrate what has value. We choose which hope we choose to pursue. And by choosing that, we change everything, I think. If those things, the physical material world that we exist in, doesn't actually have intrinsic meaning without our minds deciding, if we are that voice, if we are the logos, the conscience, the capacity to see and think and choose, as separated from us by Christianity, as spiritualized by endless religions, but it's always been inside us. If we are that, then we must decide. We must decide for ourselves, and we can't look to anyone else to comfort us for the conclusions and the decisions that we come to. We will eat those consequences on our own as individuals. We decide what we make of everything. We decide what every interaction brings us. We decide. So this little child decides, and her choice is to follow her word and her promise to her mother. And in doing so, she turns away from the harmonious possibility, eh? And then death, sister-in-law. But we don't know, switching her voice and casting it around, almost delighting in causing this back and forth. If it is open, we will leave and do nothing further. You are my treasure, and she cries. Wonderful to see such love. She refuses, of course. That's when Betelgeuse arrives at Betelgeuse's own hands, and all you have done was out of love, 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 love. We begin to meet the trembling brain boy that we've known so well. I'll forgive you, mother. Always love you. But even that she forgets. So she takes the star and she begins to magic. Die, die, die. And it envelops everything here. I would be most pleased if you would forever stay as you are. And remember that you did your best to keep your promise. A cruel way of saying, remember that this is your choice and your fault. But she's the one who killed them. Like, she steps out of the way and allows Betelgeuse to kill her, but she's the one doing it. You tie somebody to a train track and then say, well, the train killed them. It's like, nah, dude, you fucking killed them. So we shall meet again, and that setup is complete, mother. Parting with your greatest regret. Either you reject or accept your past self. Your own sin caused this. So what is left for you? What is left for you? All your history and past has been pain, and you're the cause of it, child, right? Like, you, a tiny child forced into a horrifying situation, made choices that inevitably led to destructive results, knowing, all you did, well, she chose on principle, right? And I think that's right. I think that's the right answer here, is what we extract, in terms of what we extract from this. Amelia chooses based on principle as a little child, and that's all she has, given from on high, sort of by parents, right? She doesn't know the consequences of following this scary person, but they're scary, but she's promised something. And so, two roads, she doesn't know where each of them leads. They both go bad directions, but she promised her mom that she would take the right path, and so she takes the right path. And it leads to consequences she could not have foreseen that destroy and tear apart her life. That feels right to me. She chose based on the principle. It was all she had in the lack of knowledge. And we, as children fumbling blindly through this world, in many ways have left much of our choices to principles, things, rules that have been ingrained in our civilizations and in our societies and in our very flesh and blood and in our roots that are somewhat universal. Some of those may be, so in terms of those ingrained in our flesh and blood, right? Like, most people's stomachs turn when they see a child or childish creature being harmed, and that's imbued into us. That's built into our structures, like, for clear evolutionary reasons. But then there are also stabs at that, attempts at rules that save us or protect us or help everybody function that maybe miss the mark a little bit, right? Like, there are old compunctions about eating shellfish, for example, that might have been because of hygienic reasons, but in the modern era, when you can get safe shellfish, probably aren't necessary to keep, though many Orthodox religious people will very much and 100% keep those, even if they're really the remnant of something else. even if they don't exactly apply in particular circumstances. Amelia, as a tiny child, chooses to follow a universal principle, keep your promises, one that was imbued into her repeatedly, one that was taught to her repeatedly. And she does it out of love and respect for someone that she cares about, and that in and of itself as an action is right. There's no indictment that we can make of her choice, I don't think. It is a beautiful one, and yet it still has horrifying consequences. Dramatic ones. When I was 10 years old, my parents divorced. It was no surprise to me. They had been falling apart for a long time. And in the wake of the divorce, they were going to split custody, but there was an emotional choice to be made in terms of who I sided with. And I chose my father. He was always there. And we were friends. We communicated really well. And I chose him because I felt like I trusted him. There wasn't some broad guiding principle that I can lean back on, but it was a choice. And maybe I didn't have to make that choice in the way that I did. Maybe I could have split my emotional energy between the two, but I never felt connected to my mother, and so I chose. And the repercussions of that choice have echoed into the present day. My relationship with my father became fraught, and my relationship with my mother has dwindled. Those are things that I can face and understand, and I can forgive myself for that choice that I made. I know that as that child, I didn't have a choice but to choose. And that maybe is the real takeaway, yes? Throughout our lives, we'll be forced into positions where we must choose, and to not choose is to make a choice, and so the choice is in front of us. They're trolley problems, and we don't see the train tracks, right? I think maybe that's one of the big problems with the trolley problem, as it's explained in philosophy. You got train tracks, there's two train tracks, one of the train tracks has one person on it, the other train track has two people on it. The train is currently barreling toward the two people, and you see a lever. You can switch the tracks if you want to. But what if you don't see anybody on the tracks? You're just given an ominous warning that something bad might happen in the future if the train continues on either of its continuing tracks. You don't know. You could be switching the train toward a bajillion people on one track, and it might be only one person on the previous track. Hell, one of the tracks might be empty. Hell, one of the tracks might have parties and neon lights and fucking lotto tickets and be the best thing in the entire world. Um, and everybody on the train is gonna get a car. Who knows? You don't know how this train is gonna go. You don't know what's on the other end of the track. That's reality. That's right, right? You don't get to choose. You don't get to know what the future holds. You just get to choose based on inference, based on what you think, right or left. And if you choose right because you've been told that it's right, there's this sense that maybe you can push responsibility for that choice off onto whoever told you that was right, but you're the one who chose to believe that in the end. And so in the end of things, it's always on you. So this is a real trial for Amelia as she is now, to look back at herself and see this child who had to make a choice that led to bad things, and in the absence of knowing what the other choice would do, except that it's probably way worse, because fuck, that bitch is crazy. In the absence of that knowledge, just knowing that she caused harm, not knowing that she could have done better, don't know. She has to forgive herself, or not, to accept herself or reject herself. She forgave Mother Fortuna in her dying moments. Speaking out, I believe what she felt like she needed to say. Can she forgive herself? What is there left for you? There's a future. There are others. There are people who see her. Yeah. I wanted to save my mother who loved me. It's that simple, right? The regret is that I wasn't strong enough, that I wasn't smart enough, that in this moment, as a little child, I wasn't more than a little child. But to blame a child for being forced into a situation that's destructive, that's not the child's fault. I'll never regret not breaking my promise. She told me in the very end that she was proud. But you can't save her, so haven't you lost your reason? No, of course not. Couldn't save her, but there are many others, and perhaps I could save them. So, there's this question mark thing, right? And the kid keeps putting forth this like, yeah, but what if it's fucked? What if there's no hope, dude? Yeah, but what if there is? Yeah, but what if there is, man? It's real and true, bestie. Real and true, bestie. I feel like this is a pervasive kind of attitude that we could really benefit from in the modern day. Here is our world the opposite of frozen over, but still under a dramatic environmental catastrophe that I think many people are deeply doomery about, right? Like, oh, it's the literal end of the world and there's nothing we can do about it. I don't know, drive your Chevy. Drive a bigger truck. Make it happen faster. Send it to the afterlife, baby. Like, what if? What if nothing can be recovered, man? Like, what if the environment's gone too far? What if ecosystem collapses is going to go too far and we can't save the world? What if we're all gonna die? Yeah? Okay. But we're not dead yet. So what if there are other options? Like, what if we can actually find a possibility? What if we haven't figured it out yet? Oh, right. Yeah, right. There's a future, right? Last time I checked, there's still a future. There's still a right now, and we get to build the future. Every one of these fears has a counter. You're just imagining the worst. They're all waiting to be saved, and it's the attitude that's changed. They're all waiting to be saved. I think you can look at the news and get absolutely destroyed by it. I sure do. All the fucking time. It just whomps me. It just whomps me. Around the time that I started this channel, I pulled away from everything. A little bit before it. Pulled away from everything. No news, never. Not even a little bit. Not interested. I was burnt out. I spent my whole high school career invested deeply in politics and political science, in understanding everything that was going on, and in trying to comprehend the global patterns of power, trying to really grok it, to see why countries go to wars, and what this hegemonic influence across nation states really is all about. Like, why are we doing this? Why are individual actors acting the way they do? Why are large countries acting the way that they do? It's like, it doesn't really make sense. Then it makes a lot of sense when you frame it in, well, and when you frame it as human beings making weird decisions. But I had to pull away from it all because it was overloading and it was destroying me. It made me so sad because it was just endless negativity over and over. But while it still whomps me very often, I also find myself taking a different attitude toward it sometimes. I see all these struggles and problems in the world and I get a little bit excited. It's like, damn, yeah, that's right. We're not fucking done. We're not fucking done. We're not fucking done. There's more to be done here. It's not over. We don't live in a world at the end of history. We live in a point in history. 100 years from now, people or fucking robot, AI, cyborg, humanoid, digitized entities. Who the fuck knows, right? Right? Like, maybe it will be our consciousness is getting beamed back and forth between here and Europa. You don't fucking know, and neither do I. Maybe your being will be reflected between asteroid relays. Bing, 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 bing. Something insane. Don't fucking know. But 100 years from now, whatever exists will have a chance to look back at what's existing right now, and this will be a point in their history where things changed. We're not at the end of things. It's not over. I was walking down a little street in a town, this town, small town. I walked by a little shop and they were blasting a Christmas song. You know what Christmas song it was? I'd call it the greatest Christmas song ever written so far, thus far. Do you know what it is? Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. When you think best Christmas song ever, you probably think that was written forever ago, right? Like I do. In my mind, I'm like, greatest Christmas song, it's like Jingle Bells or something. Nah, greatest Christmas song ever written was in our lifetimes. Shit's not over. The future is what you make of it, I think. And so Amelia takes this dramatic turn as she accepts herself and her decisions, she accepts responsibility for the actions that she made, and in doing so, she gains power over herself and the world. She accepts that if she was responsible for causing it, maybe she could be responsible for fixing it too. And it doesn't strike her as a burden to carry. It like lifts her. It's like wind under her wings. It's woof, and forward she goes, bolstered by purpose. A kitten asks her that. She's like, you couldn't save your mom, so it's ogre, right? Like, you got nothing left to do? Man, none of us can save our parents. None of us can save our parents. You can't save your parents. If the world goes right, they'll die before you. And that's correct. You could save somebody else's parents. Maybe save them before they're even parents. You could save somebody else's children. And you could forgive yourself and save yourself. If you're the decider, and you are, for yourself and for your own life and for everything under your purview, everything that you consider under your purview is. And so if you want to be real spooky and think like, what if the whole of humanity and the entire future of existence is under my purview? What if that's my burden, my responsibility? Ooh, that could be a lot of wind under your wings. But if you are the decider, there's no one else to forgive. There's no one else to judge you. There's no God. There's no golden lamb. There's no Christ on his throne to decide whether you get eternal torment or eternal pleasure. It's not the way it is. That's you. It's your heart and mind and spirit that decides. And so, going back and evaluating the experiences of your own life, you get to choose. In the wake of consequences, in knowing how things played out or not, do you accept yourself, the person you have been, and do you accept that you have control of the person that you will be going forward? Or do you choose to reject that person and in doing so, reject your entire life and your potential for a future? That's up to you. You're the decider. I need to wake them up and let them yell at me. The world where they should have walked side by side will come, and she believes. And the others, they're all there. The ones you froze, you caused them. Yeah, well, I'll say sorry. I'll say sorry and sorry and sorry, and one day maybe they'll forgive me. Then I'll show them the world that they've been missing. Until my throat goes dry, I'm going to live happily in the world she loved. I guess you are just that pushy, insolent, egotistical, and selfish, the pinnacle of hypocrisy. Keep using your mother's sacrifice as an excuse for your resolve to see your selfish wish through to the very end. Whatever, bitch! Hey, wait, there's more? In a sense, you've abandoned all thought, and I hate you. But I don't hate you nearly as much. And I want to talk about this too, because we framed Echidna as logic, as knowledge specifically, right? It's not quite, but it's very close to framing her as the purely rational mind, right? The logical, rational mind can't abide these sorts of emotional outbursts. It doesn't make sense, baby. You caused this pain, you suffer for the pain. But we're not rational creatures, baby. And that's the Subaru-ness to this, right? That's the thing that your boy who's been broken down enough times to kind of get it has kind of come to get. It's maybe the thing that I need to get from it. It's the thing that is rubbed off on Amelia. Logic be damned. Logic be damned. Logic is a great tool in the arsenal of humans. It's something that you shouldn't hate, just as Amelia says she doesn't hate Echidna. Logic and knowledge are rationality are critically useful, but god damn, don't let them tell you you can't do something, because they're probably fucking wrong. I hate you, she says. You'll struggle so pathetically. The logical part of us cannot abide the part that Kamina points to the heavens and decides to, like, break through the ceilings of reality. Those parts are kind of separate. They're maybe sides of brain or something like that, but I think you have to shatter your mirrored reflection of reality that you think is accurate in order to pursue goals that fulfill the part of you that subsists not on bread alone. Ah, fuck, that's so muddled. Ah, I'm turning into an aphoristic fool. To feed your soul, you can't follow your mind. You have to follow your heart and soul. Like, it's from those illogical pursuits that we gain some semblance of control, I think. Like, it's paradoxical because we think that by turning everything into knowledge and making it all make sense and putting labels on everything and identifying everything that we can pursue reality effectively, and it's wrong. It's wrong. It's always wrong because our understanding of reality is always fuddled. Our senses aren't good enough. They're intrinsically barred from actually seeing existence effectively, and so it's through force of will in some sense, detached from logic, that we break through the limitations that we've placed upon ourselves through our logic. You put yourself in a little box that says, this is who I am, and the thing that makes you feel like you're alive is breaking that box and building a new one. And if you can keep doing that over and over, and finding the logic that worms you out of your logical box, or shattering it through like a nah, then then you can be fulfilled. There's a dance to be played. Now, I'm not sure. It's too fuddly. It's too fuddly. I like it, though. So we awaken. Thank you so much. And then in that acceptance comes the feeling, the true emotional weight of it. And then outside we get some weird stuff. A wish of 400 years is on me. And it's all kind of like, we don't really know exactly what they're gonna be doing, I think. So that'll be set up for the next one. Oh, yeah, yeah, and Otto's the fucking weird ball. He's the wrench in the works. Otto's the wrench. That's right. Your game board is fucked. Let's see what happens. The future is toast. Thanks to my insignificant friend who was brought into this by what? By, like, being a cool guy. By being nice to people, basically. But it should be the main heroine. Don't worry, Otto is the main heroine, actually. So what have you come here for? To advise you to surrender. Give it up, buddy. Okay, and that's gonna transition us. All right, welcome back. I'm about ready to roll for episode 20. I've got the custom subs, thanks, Garden. And I'm just doing a little quick drawing, I think. I've been using pen recently. I've been experimenting a lot with art in some slightly different ways than I was before. I was limiting myself pretty heavily to using just the pencils, and I'm finding a lot of joy in using um, a different a different medium, a different format in order to get different textures and like do these strong, solid pen-based line works. Um, Seraph and I have been watching Ink Master, which is like a master chef for tattooing, and they're really into tattoos, and it's never been an art form that I've really pursued significantly. Despite having a like self-done tattoo, I have a tattoo on my foot that I stabbed into myself when I was 17. Um, and I've always been really curious about hand tattooing, like Japanese traditional pat 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 hammer and hand tattooing. So watching that and learning about these unique styles that have been generated because of the limitations of skin as an art, as a medium, has been really interesting, and it's opened my eyes to design elements, and ways of doing things that I just didn't understand. The sort of ability to break faces down into symbols and turn them into like simpler forms that where character is created by like individual lines and stuff instead of shading everything out. It all sort of clicked in a way that it really hasn't before, and I feel really interested in some of the art that I've been making. So I hope to see that pursued into the future and see where it sort of takes us, um, as we move forward. Thanks for listening to me blather about it a little bit. I'm gonna finish this up pretty soon. I've been doing a lot of strange split format faces. I don't exactly know how to explain that, but you'll see in a second. This to me is Roswaal. This to me is Roswaal. Yeah, it shows through. It's very strange, I understand, but when I say split format faces, it's like down the middle, everything is separate, or back and forth, or oppositized for this face. I've been drawing a lot of things that are like that. There's something about the separation that compels me. I don't know. Happy boy or sad boy? What will Roswaal be at the end of this? And will he be convinced to surrender? I don't know. We still don't exactly know what his stakes are. Things have been explained to Subaru, but I don't fully grok them or understand them yet, and I'm hoping to as we move into this next episode. Let's go ahead and dive ourselves into ReZero Season 2, Core 2, Episode 20. I've got the custom subs, as I said. Okay, let's get into it. I've got the episode up and ready to go. Two versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, early access on the Patreon, and a beep beep timer to count it down. Let's go. Sick? Whoa, hi, Echidna. So he was a sickly boy, and then Echidna the Witch of Knowledge pops up and says hi. Oh, and he loves her. Our first spot color in the whole black and white. Oh, you need to vent your mana, baby. Oh, from just a touch. Oh my. I mean, Echidna's always been pervy. This makes sense. That's pretty sensual. I feel great, actually. Can I get that every day, please? Huh, huh. Forgot that it was called that. I forgot we've definitely mentioned that that's what that's called, right? Uh. we are of a like kind. Both of us get really mana-y. I'm sorry for giggling at this. It's a real serious and deep connection between these characters, but yes, submit to the beautiful lady because she sucks your mana out. That's right on, baby. How did she find him? I guess she followed the mana. It's got a smell. Whoa! What? Oh my god. This is the... They grew up together? kind of? My brain trembles. Yuzu was saved? For what? From what? Same way? This bright tone that we have for the past is pretty great. Okay, so he puts it all on her. Don't you call me out on my own bullshit! That's my bullshit! I think he loves you, but in like a cute tat-tat sort of way. Yeah! She's great. I love Betty. We love. Mommy! Mommy! We've kept her eyes out of things this whole time. It's wild. Ah. なるほど. I'm guessing it was real fucked up. Hmm. That can't be true. I was bullying you, bullying you. Wasn't being mean. Don't you downplay somebody else's feelings. Don't dish out more than you can take. She really loves him. Aw, you can tell by how hateful she is. Just because you're good at everything and hot and cool doesn't mean I like you. It's too much. Hmm. Her noises. I just want all Beatrice noises as a YouTube video. Hmm. Hmm. She's so excited. Yeah. Man, where is this going? Hoomst! Whoa, Hoomst. Is that him? Wait, no, who's that? That's not Pedal, is it? What the fuck? What? What? And so Ryuzu will be used for that. Or Shima. So she actively offers herself. You don't even know what that means. Oh. Whoa. What are we doing here? A barrier against what? Who is coming? But it breaks you or something. Whoa. A choice of what would give my life meaning. She goes for it. Whatever's coming is bad. But why are they doing this in the first place? It's all up in the air. Still no eyes. Buy us time. And so we lock Echidna away in the sanctuary to save her from whatever's coming. I want a name. I feel like that's going to answer questions. I wonder if whoever this is like a Subaru. Somebody imbued with power that, like. Oh. Okay, he's getting whomped. I don't know who the fuck you are. That's bad. Losing interest, losing heart, not interested. This is dumb. You suck, bro. You got the worst attitude. Oh, God. He just seems to be able to exert force wherever he wants. Uh-oh. Yuzu-san, please no, don't say things. Nada. Oh. Witch warlock. Is he fully a witch? From among limited choices, don't you dare play the victim. Cool, we got a name. Oh, wow, he doesn't like that. Oh, he knows he's right and he doesn't fucking care. He just wants to eliminate the things that are correct. Oh boy. Yeah. That's who he's been looking for. That was freaking Roswaal speech. I don't think anybody does, man. You're just a problem. Love his outfit. Oh, here's the sun. Let's get it done, baby. You gotta be the core. Or something. Your sacrifice. Oh, doors to places, of course. To become the core. Does she know? Without knowing what will be next, she still does. Oh, absolute. She is the child of the library, right? Makes sense. Yeah. It's really scary. She's trying to be so strong. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She means goodbye. So melancholy is come to destroy knowledge? That is what the goal is. Mother is absolute. So you will be taken. There's no time, Betty. And you're the one to decide. You can't run away from everything. No. Brutal. Yeah, but we don't even know what we're being chased by. I want to understand Hector and his whole shtick. Fucking warlocks. Hmm. For her. It's been a place for her, though. Wow. But all of this leads into how Beatrice feels now. Distraught and abandoned by everyone. Left behind for reasons that make sense, but... Don't you tell me what to do! Fuck. Fuck. Yeah, I'm removing the hand. Okay, she makes the choice that should save them all and leads to the present. It's very reminiscent of Amelia's choices. So, let's have you fill out the details, Roz boy. Ah, fuck. He's gonna play a manipulation game? Doesn't feel right. Fuck, he's impugning his... I don't like this tact, Roswaal. My boss, wow, he's still with it. Moving forward, baby. My guy! My guy! Yeah, he did. Yeah, not your fucking party, baby. Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Hey, that was a pretty dope thing you said, bro. Good shit. We need you. You're strong. Let's go, Garfield. Fuck yeah! We accepted the past. Fuck yeah! Amelia did the same kind of thing. You haven't overcome, buddy. And you claim that we can't know. That we can't understand, man. Nope. Hmm. Huh. One must have power in order to change. No one will violate the feelings? Whoa, because you're ordinary. Feelings change? Yeah, he has to believe it. Holy shit, this is about Roswaal's own trauma. Because he failed. It's how he reconciles his own fragility. Oh wow, he's universalized his own broken morality. Burns. And you will not change, you say. That's true. And truly, their girls are both against each other. Yes. No, dude. No, dude. The fate of the half-elf. So why'd you take her in? Then it's true. Ah! 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 Fuck you! Uh. Hmm. He sees only himself in that. Hmm. Great. Then we're destined to fight. We don't even get to find out about Hector! And the beginning of the end! And there she is. She's coming, and she's ready. Feelings change. Let's go, Bish. Yeah, yeah, you got her with you. Choices made in the past. What's up? We got shit to do. Oh, there's a little beep bop. There's never a little beep bop. And it's a calm beep bop. The sun on her this time. Same imagery used here. That's cute. I really like this. It's such a different tone. Like both of them are awake. Takes two to tango, and it looks like our two are dancing, you know? Okay, perfect. It feels like come next episode, our two sort of sides of this that have been separated as Amelia ventured into her past and Subaru has been working in the present they've been separated and separated and separated. I think that they can finally come back together, right? We had this the moment of departure was like our communication, our really strong communication between them, and then we've parted ways and made choices on our own. And now those choices have brought our characters into seeing each other and moving toward each other again and will. I get that distinct feeling from this ED section. It's like, all right, the light that we experienced coming through the clouds for Subaru as he awakened is like spreading to her, and that light awakens her as well. And she's like holding on to that promise is part of the lyrics and looking toward the future. And they see each other, and she's able to open her eyes in the light that crosses her face, and they see each other. Now our team is a team, right? And simultaneously we get to see our enemy as self, right? We get to see Roswaal and truly express him as what he represents. It's not entirely clear yet, but he's an infatuated love, right? A deep and dramatic respect that in the wake of a failure that he's had, he's formed this pessimism of weakness, which is a really funny one because that's exactly what Nietzsche called Schopenhauer's understanding of pessimism, a pessimism of weakness, when Nietzsche was seeking out a pessimism of strength. But the weakness here that Roswell expresses is like it's inevitable. It's like there is no change. Everyone stays just as weak as they ever were, and I've believed that wholeheartedly for 400 years. And he expresses that he has contempt for people changing their ideals, specifically toward Garfield. And maybe he's just using that as a bludgeon to try to convince Garfield to change, right? To make a play here. But it seems more than that. It seems like moralistic on him. He's like, how dare you? I thought you were pretty cool and strong and shit, but as soon as you get beaten down a little bit, you change your tune, you change your tone, you change your whole set of ideals. How broken of you, Garfield. And Garfield's like, you know what, man, fuck you. This guy says he needs me because I'm strong and he recognizes the strength that's in me, and you told me that I would never change, but I can change. Like what you're expressing isn't really true, is it? We can see why he believes it to be true, having been robbed of the woman he's obsessed with. One who, let's be clear, right? There's no room in Echidna for love. We never see her eyes in that whole episode, right? All the feelings that are placed on her are something like projection. She is knowledge, and she wants to protect a lot of things, but a loving romance with Roswaal? I don't think so, man. And he would probably respond to that like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to what aspect she wants me. I'll sacrifice all other elements of myself in order to be the thing that she needs because she saved me. It is from my weakness that my love for her was born. She's strong, right? Our first moments with Roswaal are him falling to his knees before her, right? He falls to his knees before her when she sucks the cum, I mean mana out of him. And he's overwhelmed. This spot colored emotion takes him over and makes him make all these choices to like rise to his station and beat out his other family members and become the scion of the Mather's household. And he puts it all on Echidna. It's all because of her. In my own despair, I might have done something rash. And he becomes a part of this little family, and it's all cute and good, but like, it's all on her, and it's all about his weakness. I really like their banter. It makes me believe a lot of things, and I fucking love this. This is cool and crazy to me because he just emerges, right? He just walks out of here. But I want to mention something about it. Roswell's initial garb here is, he's got his little heart earring and he's got a couple of flares and bits of things. But like, is it striking to anyone else how much his garb has evolved to look like that of this warlock guy? Okay, maybe this is just the aesthetic sensibilities of the people drawing the show, but it strikes me as interesting that this warlock is sort of split down the middle, multicolored patterns, right? He's got jester-styled patterns in the long coat, and then he's got this big flaring portion to his cape thing. It's all chopped off of him and broken. And then the distinctive ascot and the gem in the center and the all the detail and stuff. It's like it's there are pieces of Roswell's current outfit, his new way of being that are really reminiscent of that. We trade the gem for tide bits, and but the ascot is sort of the same, and he ends up wearing the same leggings with the diamond patterns down them and the long flowing cape and the spreading portion on the chest. It's really interesting to me that, and we'll have to see what happens in the next episodes in terms of that past element. It's really interesting to me that defeated by this character, Roswell seems to take on a lot of aspects of him, and not just in terms of his physical appearance and what he wears. He wears this mask and acts out of weakness and fear and melancholy, right? There's something that's rubbed off on him truly in being defeated like this. We frame him really interestingly throughout this. He's kind of a count lowered, is the feeling that I get. He's brought onto the same level as all of us, in part because of his sitting here. And then in his leaping up and yelling back and forth, we frame back and forth the level of the characters, and we shift them and shift them as the power of the situation sort of flies back and forth. But it's like he is a great count lowered and made. When we zoom into just his eyes and just his face, he's just a man. I don't feel like the effect of overlaying their two faces and being like, "We're really the same, actually," is too super striking to me. I don't vibe with it too much. I get what they're trying to do, it just doesn't land super well. I do think that expressing Roswell as an element of relationship style and a viewpoint on the world that Subaru must overcome is probably quite correct. Roswell, for this whole time, has been sort of an untouchable figure of power for us. And we find out that at the root of his certainties are convictions that aren't backed up by experience. Well, like, okay, how do I put it? They're convictions versus, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He holds his convictions too tightly. And his convictions are, they strike me immediately as wrong, but that doesn't mean that they're wrong, right? Like, I can't let my intuition take me there if we're going to try to be logical about this. And at the same time, maybe I can. We just expressed in the previous episode, or as we went through it, that perhaps our logic is not the be all and end all, and certainly Roswell isn't acting out of logic here. He's acting in 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 accordance with a deeply held emotion and a set of beliefs that he's come to that help him understand his own story. And that's a lot of what we come to believe as people, is like the stories that we tell ourselves about why we acted the way that we did become our truth. And then if we believe them strongly enough, we need to see those stories and those truths expressed in reality and affirmed to us. And that's where Roswaal feels like he's coming from. Subaru is trying to prove something because he believes that it will be right and like will make a better world. Roswaal is trying to prove something because he thinks that anyone else in his situation will have to make the same choices he does, and that's just the way of it. And he has to believe that, otherwise he can't forgive himself for the choices that he's made or the failures and weaknesses that he's experienced, right? He's got this perspective that's kind of, well, it's kind of religious almost in a sense, right? He's saved. He's been saved, right? He was a young man, and we can really frame it sexually if we want to. He was a young man bound by a passion, an explosion of stuff that he couldn't control, and a kind and gentle soul came and forgive him and helped him come to forgive himself, um, and saved him. And so he's come to this conclusion that humans are inevitably weak. We cannot save ourselves. Someone else transcendent and beyond us must have the mercy in order to save us. And from that acceptance of our weakness, of our intrinsic weakness, we gain strength, right? That's something like his paradigm. Hello, that's Christianity. Just throwing it out there, that's Christianity. Here you are, you're a weak sinner, you have no hope for the future. Don't worry about it because there's a God and he's all forgiving, and he sent his only begotten son to die on a cross and be in all sorts of pain so that he could forgive you eventually when you die, and then somehow heaven happens, and maybe, right? But the core of it is that humans are weak. Don't respect yourself. Don't respect your intuition. Don't respect your choices. You're weak, and the only choices you can make will be out of weakness. You need to seek something transcendent to rely upon, and then that burning in your ever burning soul is the thing that I Roswaal must impose upon everyone else around me. And he says, like, you and I are the same. We both impose our moralities on the women that we love. And that's like so not true of Roswaal. Roswaal is just framing himself across a god that he doesn't understand at all, right? Doesn't understand Echidna at all, truthfully, it seems like he really doesn't comprehend the nature of the being that he's interacting with. And then he says, we are just the same. And it's like Subaru hasn't imposed a morality on Amelia. He has expressed himself, and she's made choices to follow in his promise, as expressed in the OP that we got. Yeah, man, this is fucking interesting now, because now we've framed Roswaal as not just this distant figure that we didn't really comprehend, who's sort of mysterious and spooky. We've brought him down to earth in a real sense. He's just a boy who, in his own words, has not refactored or reformulated his ideals and ideas in 400 fucking years, right? And he calls that strength. He calls that strength in some sense. It's like, in his mind, his strength is the strength to rely upon his conception of moral weakness for forever, and once he's chosen it, he'll never change it, and that's what makes him strong, right? That's fucking weak pansy bullshit. And I think it's weak pansy bullshit if you are going to hold core and crystal to an ideal without letting it be challenged, without and he's furious at the challenge of it, but he's going to step forward and allow it to be challenged and fight it out, which I think is eventually the right prospect. The question is, will he ever see his own defeat, right? Like, will he be able to see that as his own ideals being actually beaten? Or will he, like many villains, sort of go out laughing, being like, haha, you'll learn in the end that what I said was actually the truth. You'll figure it out eventually, kid. And Subaru just be like, all right, man, whatever, bro. I guess you didn't learn the lesson. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with Roswaal. He refused at this point to surrender, refused to do anything but see this through and fight for his ideals. And I'll admit that there's something admirable about sticking to your guns. But man, if they're bad guns, if it's a if your perspective is that everything is about weakness, I think you're full of shit, and you're not gonna win. I think Garfield's got it right, and he's the simplest boy here, right? Who you gonna choose to follow? Who are you gonna choose to follow? The person who tells you that you're weak and you forever will be and goes, "Pat, pat, pat, it's okay"? I mean, in truth, lots of people will follow that. Lots of people want to be coddled, so fair. But those people who want to be coddled aren't going to magically become strong by accepting their weakness. There are ways to do that, and we've talked about them in different shows. There are ways to see your weakness as strength, both as something to improve and also like to recognize your fragility and your smallness and your incapacity and like that frees you. It can free you. But man, to build your whole existential paradigm around feeling and being weak and being like, I guess I don't have any choice. I don't know. Fuck you. Fuck that. At least you can look back at your choices and like reconcile with them in a serious and powerful way, that the way that Amelia did, or the way that Subaru does continuously, as he has to. This is cool. This is cool moralizing and cool philosophizing, and I've enjoyed watching the fuck out of this episode, and I hope you have too. I am gonna call it there, despite feeling that maybe the next episode would be really good, because I got things to do. So I'll see you when I get more ReZero done. Thanks so much for watching this episode, and I will watch more, and it will be up on the Patreon before it comes up on the YouTube. So if you want to check that out, it'll be on the Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your patience as always. Much love. Peace.